Okay, so here's my update. So I just finished up week 9 of the Sculpted Vegan Sculpt and Shred program, the 18-month program. So I'm still very early on in this. Um, so yeah, I just something happened yesterday that I was gonna keep doing the program, but I was a little bit worried about how it was gonna play out. And okay, so basically what happened was, um, I have like another YouTube channel where I just post like reviews of items, and it's linked to this same account. And the whole point of that is I'm getting fed up with like not getting honest reviews about things. And even on Amazon, I used to feel like you could go, so this is totally off topic, but I'm just gonna go into it. I feel like you used to be able to go in, read the reviews, and get a pretty good sense of like if the item was a good item or not. But over the past few years, that's not the case. Like, you can have items that are 5-star reviews and they're garbage. So I'm an economist, and one of the main tenets that underlies kind of how economics works is consumers have like informed choices over what they're buying. And I feel like if people can't get like good information about the products, then you know like so basically, like, any products I was buying, I started making reviews of them just to kind of put some information out there for other people wanting to buy products. And so I had this separate channel where I was doing that. And all of a sudden yesterday, when I go to like upload a review, like my whole channel is gone. This channel and that review channel, like everything that was on that account was gone. And it said, you violated all these community violations. And I didn't have any strikes on anything up to that point. And so it just like totally caught me off guard that like everything was gone. And they didn't tell me like exactly why. So I started wondering if like the stuff I put on this channel, was I in, because I do my measurements, and I in like my bra and underwear, and I've got some like reviews of swimsuits and things like that. And so I was just like, oh my gosh, like what guideline did I violate? Because they didn't tell me anything about it. And so you can submit a form to appeal. And so I did, and I was just like, I don't really know what I'm violating. I've done some like swimsuit reviews and stuff, but I don't feel like it violates your like, nudity policy or whatever. And I said, I really don't know what else, it could be. Like, I make these videos for kind of like informative purposes and for like documentation of like this bodybuilding experience and my habit tracking and, things like that. So I was just like, oh my gosh. And so then like yesterday afternoon, I was just kind of like, well, it really hit me like how much doing these weekly update videos, I was like, if I'm not doing these weekly update videos, like it's not like I rely on these for motivation, but putting this out there, even if like not very many people watch them, or if nobody watches them, it still like in my mind gives me some sense of like accountability to make sure that I stay on top of things, at least somewhat. And so I was a little bit worried. I'm like, well, I mean, I know I wish I had like internal motivation to keep me like going and on track with things, but if I'm being honest, like I may not, especially for like something as long as this is going for 18 months, staying motivated every week, could be kind of hard. And so I kind of worried that like if I don't have this channel to post my videos to, would I lose some of that, week by week motivation that I've been having. And so like last night I was just trying to like psych myself up and be like, look, it doesn't matter if you know there's no like outside accountability, like. And then I was like, should I switch to Instagram and post things on Instagram? And then I was like, why do I need this like external accountability? Like, maybe this is my sign to just like try to be accountable to myself only. So anyway, like I was just going through all this last night, and But I woke up this morning and they'd reviewed my appeal, and obviously my channel's back up, but and it didn't even have anything to do, because I was starting to think, I was like, well, even if I do get my channel back up, am I gonna have to change my content and like really focus on censoring myself? And you know, it's just kind of like, I don't know. I was like, okay, well, maybe if I do get it back up and I do these weekly videos, am I gonna have to do my measurements like fully clothed, or should I take those measurements out? It's just like, I'm just not super modest, so I don't think anything about like taking a video of me in my bra and underwear. Like, it's, you see people in less than that all the time, like at the beach or on movies or things like that. So I just didn't really think anything of it. But then I started just like second guessing like everything that I'd ever posted, and if I would need to like adjust and like start another channel and like do things differently. So anyway, when I checked the email this morning, it wasn't even this channel. It was nothing like related to this channel that got me flagged. It was the review channel. And I think because I was like posting the reviews and then posting a link to where I got the product, like I don't know if that got flagged as me like spamming or something. Like, I don't know, but they reviewed it and they were like, oh, okay, it's not in violation of our guidelines. So I don't know, but anyway, so that's the big like drama this week, I guess, that happened yesterday. And I'm gonna be honest, like I just like, I wasn't like as stressed about it. I was just kind of like, because I'd had something similar happen on Instagram where I used to spend a lot of time on Instagram like posting pictures of my food. It was more like a vegan centered page, and I was cooking a lot, posting pictures of my food, like engaging with other people. It was just fun. Like, this is like a hobby for me. Like, I'm not trying to make any money off of this, or whatever. It's just kind of like a hobby, and if people do get like information out of it that's useful, then good. And then this part in particular is just for like documentation for me and some accountability. But yeah, like the Instagram thing was literally like just a hobby. I'm not trying to be like a big influencer and make a living off of it. And I think in that instance, some person had like been messaging me and got a little bit inappropriate, and so I blocked them. And this is what I think happened, because it was right after this that like I started getting like, I couldn't do anything on Instagram anytime I would try to like anything, or I couldn't like follow people or anything like that. It just, it said your account's been like flagged for inappropriate activity or something like that. And I'm like, maybe this guy went and like reported my account, and he made like other accounts and was like trying to message me with other accounts and things like that. And I was like limited on my Instagram, and then I was just like, why am I even putting all this time into posting on Instagram if I can't even like use it in the way that I enjoy using it, just interacting with people and posting my stuff. So anyway, I think because that had happened to me before, like when this happened, I was less like bothered by it. I was just like, well, it is how it is. YouTube's a free platform that's allowing me to post my content, so I can't really be that upset about it. It sucks, and I wish that these platforms weren't getting so like, I mean, I guess they've got to ride that line between like keeping spam off of it, because spam does get annoying, and then like, I guess it would be hard to kind of like moderate all the content that everybody's putting out there. But anyway, so I was just like, whatever. But at the same time, I was kind of like, how is this gonna affect my future progress and specifically like the bodybuilding stuff. So yeah, I kind of made yesterday my cheat day, because I was just like, screw it, I'm just gonna eat whatever. But I didn't end up like eating way over like too much. But yeah, anyway, aside from that, my workouts this week were pretty good. My weight has just like stayed flat, like pretty much like the last several weeks. I've been like right around 140, a little bit up, a little bit down, but pretty much sitting at 140. I did stay under my calories for most of the days this week. It was pretty easy to stick to my diet this week. And to stay under my calories. I wasn't focusing on protein or anything like that. Like, I've just been focusing on calories. But yeah, and I did feel like I'm starting to feel toned again. You know, I said like a couple weeks ago I felt chubby, and I wasn't feeling like as strong, and just how I feel, like I felt more toned, especially in my legs this week. But I don't know, like, even though I'm having these feelings of like I feel more toned, or I feel less toned, or I feel chubby, or I feel thinner, like it doesn't, when I do my measurements and everything, like it doesn't seem to like really change that much. So yeah, I don't know, it's weird. But anyway, that's that. I'll run through my apps real quick and I will do my measurements, and I guess I'll do them the same since that wasn't what got my my channel blocked. So anyway, I'll get to that.
All right, so we'll start with the Fitbit app. Been getting some good sleep still, the last couple nights especially. So we're all good on that. With my weight, like I said, it's been just going up and down around 140 for the past several weeks. So my average last week was 140.8, week before 139.9, week before 140, 139, 140. So yeah, it's just been going up and down around 140, same way this week. And then I guess let's go to my FitnessPal. And we will go to last week. So yeah, most of the days I stayed, so I kind of have like a, just kind of, what is it? Just like a, not a modest goal, but like a loose goal of trying to stay below 1,800 calories, and a bigger goal to stay, okay, so I want to stay below 2,000 calories, ideally below 1,800 calories. So that's what I've been trying to do. I wasn't quite as hungry this week. And so, yeah, almost all the days I stayed below 1,800 calories. Some of the days, like, substantially below. Yesterday, like I said, the channel thing kind of stressed me out a little bit. So I ended up eating a little bit more, 2,300 calories. And yeah, I don't know. I may eat quite a bit tonight. Normally Sunday is my cheat day, and then I'll make some videos with my roommate. Like, we've got some like vegan kind of junk food products that I have him try, and so I've got a few or a couple things we may do tonight. So I may have pretty high calories tonight, but we'll just see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I will hop over and do my measurements. I almost forgot to show my macros. So I'm just a carb eater. Carbs were high. As a percentage wise, and protein was pretty low. I did try to get in protein shakes for most of the day, so I was at least getting 50 grams of protein a day. It averaged out to about 93 grams of protein a day. So it's still not terrible, but I'd like to try to get like 50 or 60 more grams than that. But right now I'm just trying to stick to what I can. We've got one more week of this phase 1 of the program, and then we'll move into phase 2 after next week. So we'll see if things get changed up a little bit by then. But for now, I've got a lot of stuff going on with work and school. So I'm just trying, really for these next 2 months, I'm just going to be trying to get by, keeping up with everything and keeping up with this as best I can. So this is how it is right now. But I will hop over now and do my measurements. All right, so here's how I look at my workout leggings. I feel like I'm looking pretty good in these. But yeah, let me
get these off, show you how I look, and start my measurements. So I am doing this a little bit later in the day. I keep saying I want to try to do this like early every morning, and I think eventually I'll get there to where I'm doing it like at the same time, but this is a little later in the day, so sometimes that affects, you know, my weight because your body changes throughout the day, but about the same as every week. And let's check on the measurements. Yeah, I think, you know, I mentioned last week that my practice bikini, the bottoms broke, and I think I'm just gonna take my measurements with this because this is what I normally am wearing under my clothes anyway, so it's just easier. At this point, where I'm at with like school and work, I just want to try to do whatever's the easiest and what I'll be able to kind of stick to the best. And this just takes kind of one step out of that process. So this is sitting right at 31, maybe a little bit over 31. Last week it was 30.5. So around the top. Let's see. Oh, why is it so twisted? There we go. It's about, oh, it's gotten smaller. Looks like 34.75. Oh, last week I had 34.25, so it's gotten bigger. Like seriously, when I gain and lose weight, it happens like all in my chest right away. It's always been that way. Like when I start losing weight, it happens there, so that's not the best, but when I gain it, it also goes there too. So my waist is just a little bit over 31, so it's a little bit bigger than last week, just a little bit over. I'll go ahead and do 31.25. Last week it was 31. There was like the week before it was like 31.75. So my waist is just kind of going up and down around between 31 and 32, it looks like. And then my hips. I feel like I've been inconsistent with measuring these. I try to get it at like the top of my like hip bone, but I don't know if that's exactly where. But I just want to try to find a place where I'm doing it like the same place every week. 38.75. Last week it was 39. My thigh is always around 21, so let's see. I feel like I did hit my legs pretty hard this week on my 2 leg days. Yep, 21 still. And I guess that's it. I've got a lot of school stuff coming up this week. So that's probably going to be my primary focus, but I like what I've been doing as far as my diet, not for like competing, but just in like being able to stick to everything and keeping it within like a certain calorie range, because what I've been doing is I'll work out fasted just because I've tried like eating before my workouts and it just doesn't seem to have an effect, and if anything it's like a negative like mental effect on me. So I do prefer like my morning workout fasted, and then I'm usually not hungry after the workout, but I've been like forcing myself to drink a protein shake, and the protein shake is like 300 calories and it's like 50 grams of protein, I think like 40 or 50 grams, and So I just have been forcing myself to get that in. And then I haven't really been eating the rest of the day. I've just been so busy with work. Like, if I'm not bored, if I'm focused on something, I don't even think about food. Like, hunger doesn't even play in. And I've just been so busy with work all week and school that I feel like this week will probably be the same way because I've got a whole lot of school stuff to finish up. So we'll see how it goes. And then it's kind of nice because it leaves me like a lot of calories at night, so I'm able to like eat enough to where I'm just super full. And I know people say like it's not good to eat like right before bed, but that's just, I don't know, that's how I've always been. That's what I'm most comfortable with. That's when I feel like the best. So for at least the time being, I'm gonna keep sticking to that. And then, you know, once I get less going on with school and come towards the end of school and getting ready to really compete, if I need to like work on timing my foods differently, then I can really have the time to focus on that. But for now, it's just getting through these weeks, getting done what I need to do in my real life, my other part of my life outside from this, and still able to kind of like fit in my workouts and try to kind of stay somewhat on top of my diet. But anyway, I will, unless my channel gets taken down again, I will be back next week with my week 10 update.